Thank you, everyone. I want to specifically thank Pauline from KCB for for her presence today to come and confirm the the support of KCB to the UAP and Ndakaini Half Marathon. Before we come to KCB, to satisfy Edmund's request, is maybe we can talk a little bit about this year's marathon. Number one, I think we are very proud of the fact that this is the beginning of the second decade of the UAP Ndakaini Half Marathon. It has been a wonderful roller coaster ride for us, for the last 11 years. Every milestone, we have thought about the 11th edition and looking forward to another decade of sponsoring the marathon. And we thought we have to do maybe something new. And one of the big changes or enhancements to the marathon in 2014 is that we've decided to call it the digital marathon, but through innovation. We are a company that believes in innovation in whatever we do. So this time we're trying to make it an automated marathon in the sense that we are investing in what you call RFID tags, which will ensure that the timing of the marathon is automated. People do not have to start quarreling as to who finished first. We'll also be able then to enable people to self-print for themselves their finishing certificates. And of course, that for me is an innovation. And we are very geared to make sure that we have a more efficient marathon. Now, why is it important? Because the venue of our marathon in Ndakaini is fairly small, and in order to be able to accommodate more people, because we've seen every year we are growing by quite a large numbers of people turning up, the only way to make sure that we can handle the increasing number of participants is where we automate a number of those things. And I think the whole element of timing becomes important, because in the past we have found that when people finish, there's a bit of crowding at the finishing funnel, which is not very good. People have just finished a marathon, they're very tired. The last thing they want is to be standing for too long. They need to go and wind down from the marathon. So the automation of the marathon is, for me, I think is an important thing. Of course, all the other things are there. We have a very good organization this year. We have all the necessary things being done. We are still getting the support from Athletics Kenya. We are actually working to make sure that in this second decade, we can be able to move the marathon from being a national event to an international event. Now, that's as far as it goes in terms of what's new in the marathon this year. But I would like now to turn over to sponsorship. We're very happy that we have seen quite an upsurge in sponsors, and today we are very happy to welcome our continuing partner KCB to the sponsorship. KCB has been with us for a long time, every year coming on board. They are indeed a partner. If we talk about the building of the Ndakaini Half Marathon, KCB can claim a stake in that building, because they have consistently been supporting the marathon. And for them to come back this year, we are very delighted, and I would like to give our thumbs up and thank KCB profusely for their sponsorship, and I promise them that we are open to discussions as to any ideas that the KCB might have in terms of coming on board and becoming more prominent in the marathon. And we hope that that is something we can be able to do, because this marathon is a unique opportunity to partner with a local community to try and uplift the lives of the people in that community, that is the Ndakaini community, but also from a national level, contribute towards the conservation of our environment. And these are values I believe KCB holds dear as well, and hopefully Pauline will tell us a little more about that. And even the color of KCB is the color of the environment. So it's just natural that we can be good partners. We have also been partners with KCB in quite a lot of ways in bank assurance, and we would like to thank KCB as well for all that partnership. Since 2008, we've done a lot of business together, and we hope we will continue doing that business together going into the future. I would like to also clarify one thing, that when this money comes, the sponsors' money does not come to for purposes of organizing the marathon. UAP underwrites the entire cost of the marathon. The sponsors' money, it really goes directly to support the Ndakaini community through through NDECA, the Ndakaini Dam Environmental Conservation Association, which is represented today here by Mr. Mukuna. And so, while receiving this sponsorship, I would also want to encourage other sponsors to come on board and know that when they support the UAP Ndakaini Half Marathon, they are indeed supporting the Ndakaini community, and building those relationships, I believe, is one important thing for all of us to do, and create that power of example that DECA has done over the last 11 years. And therefore, once more, Pauline, thank you very much for this sponsorship by KCB, and please pass our regards to Mr. Waigara, who's been a good friend of UAP as well, and the entire KCB fraternity, and we look forward to continued partnership on the UAP Ndakaini Half Marathon.
Very good. Next.
You got everything.
Come to you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pauline Dongagako, KCB Foundation, the program manager. This morning we're quite delighted to be here to present this symbol of our partnership with the UAP team. Like James rightfully said, KCB and UAP have worked together for a very long time, and especially on the initiative around the conservation of the Ndakaini Dam through NDECA. We're very happy for a number of reasons. One, just as general consumers of the resource, which is being kept safe for us by the people up at Gatanga. Also because we believe in the power of partnerships. At the foundation, we have taken a very, very special angle where we say we will only get further if we go with other people. And so we're very glad to have UAP to take us there. One of our core thematic areas at the foundation is environment, and therefore this particular sponsorship falls squarely within one of our core functions. We want to contribute towards increase in forest cover. We want to contribute towards access to safe water for the people of Kenya. And so this directly resonates with what it is that we purpose to do. We will be having conversations, of course, in the very near future about how to grow our engagement. Like I said, it's been over 5 years since we've been with this particular initiative. And over that time, we also as a foundation of the bank have grown, and we have widened our scope in terms of how else can we engage. So we have, for instance, a health lifestyle program around kidneys. And so that immediately tells me that there is a possibility for us to open a conversation on, if we're talking about healthy lifestyles and people are running is one of the ways to get to, to make sure that you're keeping fit and healthy. And UAP is also our insurer, our health insurer. So I see there very immediately a provision for us to open a conversation almost immediately and to say, how does that work from here? So we're very glad to come on board. We'll be sending a team as well to run, and we look forward to those engagements.
You look forward to winning also.
We do. We look forward to winning. We usually put a winning team, so we look forward to that.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it's a grace of God to be here. I thank God to be here with the Pauline, the KCB, and also our main sponsor since 2004, UAP Insurance. I'm very grateful because we have worked a long way with the UAP Insurance and KCB. When Pauline is talking about the green, I think the color of DECA is green, And KCB is green. And we are joining hard with the UAP and KCB to turn Ndakaini as green. The effort of the community of Ndakaini is mainly to conserve the Ndakaini Dam. And this year, we are planning next year how we are going to conserve the dam upstream, whereby we are going to source seedlings from the bamboo from the community to plant on the bank of the river, so that we are going to conserve all the way from the forest. And the bamboo, already the community have already propagated bamboo for preparation of the next year. Even the bank of the dam, we are planning, is 42 kilometers, the bank of the dam. We are planning to plant bamboo orpha. That is a program which we are starting with Professor Kimura, who is our chairman, and the community is already having a propagation nursery for that. So I thank KCB very much, because we are partnering with the KCB earlier on. They invite the community of Ndakaini to go and plant tree at Kinale Forest. So we are having a good partnership of the conservation of the dam and the wetland. So once again, thank you very much, and I hope you are going to bring a bigger team to conserve, to come and learn Ndakaini. The KCB is our bank as DECA, so I'm very proud to see KCB here. Thank you very much.
I think the next stage really will be presenting to, we can do it differently. We'll have KCB presenting to UAP, KCB presenting to DECA, UAP looking on, we'll have those variations. Sana for coming, spending time this morning to just show your support very tangibly to a very worthy cause. The 11th European Ndakaini Marathon is scheduled for 13th of September. We're actually counting down the weeks now, literally. Plans are in gear. The event is happening. Partnership is what makes it happen. And as we enter the second decade of transformation on the ground in conservation, UAP is very pleased to receive, on behalf of all the others and the community, we have a presentation from DECA, the people on the ground for whom we give the responsibility of looking after the dam as hosts. Banamkuna, he'll also have a word or two after this. We want to keep this flowing. We appreciate you've got other engagements, but we value it even more so when we spare time to actually come and say we're together. This is symbolic of the partnership, and let's do it. We have a presentation here from Dimension Data, partners who continue to support the initiative. We have, of course, UAP, represented by the MD UAP Insurance, that's Mona James Wangugu. We have real people. Real people are also in the house today. And of course, UAP, as we all know, is a financial services group. And should I say the newest kid on the block is UAP Investments, for which we have the general manager, that is Manapita Ngeno. You'll also be able to receive, on behalf of UAP, one of the two presentations. And of course, Banamkuna, who is representing DECA. He's one of the actually founder members of the Ndakaini Dam Conservation, Environment and Conservation Association, DECA, on the ground. They are all our partners here. I probably will give us 1 or 2 minutes each to just share your experience, your comments, expectation, and why you are supporting the initiative. James.
Thank you, Edmund. Good morning, everyone. It's very gratifying for us, looking at where we came from and where we started, to find more and more partners coming on board. Dimension Data has been coming to support the marathon for quite some time. We have had a long relationship with Dimension Data as well. And I don't think it's only because of that relationship. Primarily, I think when they came on board, they were not necessarily having any relationship with UAP. We have real people who are coming back after having been there last year. And it's a big statement because putting aside 150,000 shillings to sponsor an event which is not necessarily their event is a big statement of partnering with the community. It basically shows that the whole idea and the logic behind UAP Ndakaini Half Marathon is a compelling idea, is a compelling case for people to come together, for us to support the community, but even more important, for us to support the environment. Because, if we don't take care of our environment, we will not be here too long. And when I say we, it doesn't mean those of us who are in this room. We're talking about we as human beings. And in fact, we will become very bad custodians, because we enjoy what we enjoy today because of the people who lived maybe 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, time of Jesus Christ, and maybe the time of the pharaohs in Egypt. And they made sure that the environment and the earth is sustainable. We don't have a choice ourselves, we have to do the same. And therefore I believe that this is a cause that transcends not even businesses, companies, individuals, communities, but it really transcends centuries and let's say age. And the day we will forget about the environment, maybe that will be the beginning of it's called an apocalypse. Yeah. So if we want to live longer in this world as human beings, then we have to do this. And I really appreciate all the sponsors that have really come forward and for sticking. They come on board. Well, I would say that when we started, we had a few of them. We still have them. We just had a presentation earlier from KCB, and KCB has been with us for maybe out of the 11 years, have been with us for maybe 8 of those years. There are others. Coca-Cola has been with us providing water for quite a number of years. EABL came on board 2 years ago. Now they have stuck with us. Real people came last year. They are back, and I hope that next year they will be there. Dimension Data, as I mentioned, has been there with us for quite some time. And I think I want to say for us, it is very good when your dreams are validated. I know that term has been used somewhere, so you understand what I mean. That the dream that we set up, and this wasn't even a UAP dream. The original dream was from Ndeka. They came to us, and we saw the value of it. That today we can say that dam at Ndakaini is well protected. The first time I went to Ndeka was and I was telling Daniel, it's 1998. And when I had been hearing about this dam, I think it was finished in 1994. So I'd heard a lot about it. So I decided, let's drive there. And when we got there, before you get to the trading center, you used to use the glory of the dam from far. Now, with the efforts we have done, planting trees around the dam and all that, if you can as well pass through Ndakaini and never know there was a dam, that big lake that you have just passed. And for me, I think that's a very good thing. Of course, we've left spaces for people to be able to enjoy views of the dam, which is a good thing. The other thing is that there is a lot of bamboo that has been planted around the shoreline, which ensures that first of all, the cleanliness of the water and prevention of silting of the dam, because you have the dam of 70 million cubic meters of water. If soil begins to be eroded and come to the dam, you might as well get to the situation we found Sasumua, which was a dam that used to supply water to Nairobi in the 80s and 70s, and had to literally be rebuilt, desilted, rebuilt a few years ago. So we don't want that to happen in Ndakaini. And also we are trying to support the community. economically empowering them, and finally building what I'd call a destination as Ndakaini. So if sooner or later Ndakaini becomes a destination where people want to go to visit as tourists. People want to go there because there'll be a high altitude training camp to, to see some of the world stars coming to train there. Let's take, for example, if people around Thika or Nairobi had Mo Farah was in Ndakaini, they would go to see him train, and that they have to be given food by someone. They have to be given accommodation. Then basically one day, Ndakaini with all its beauty will become a destination. And all this because of a simple idea that was started by the Ndeka people. So we hope and believe that that is a compelling reason why people want to come and support this marathon. The other thing I want to say is, as UAP, we underwrite the entire cost of organizing and running the marathon. The money that the sponsors bring does not come to UAP. The money that sponsors bring actually goes to NECA to support the local community in all the initiatives they work. For example, they plant seedlings. They incubate seedlings to be planted for the trees that are planted around the dam and the catchment area. What we do is we buy those seedlings from them. And of course, for them to plant these seedlings and to tend them and all that, they need some funding. And part of the funding that comes through sponsors does that. Then we also employ the local community to actually plant the trees. So you can actually see how the partnership works to help a sustainable arrangement. And that is the reason why you can see that we've had the first 10 years very successful. Now we have another decade that we are looking forward to. And what's going to be different about this new decade? It is that first we are going to make the marathon, we'll automate the marathon in the sense that we'll have automated timing through what is called radio frequency identification chips. And that helps us also to increase the capacity of the marathon. Ndakaini is a small place. Once we reached about 4,000 runners together with a few, maybe 2,000 unregistered one, 6,000 people began to look like a difficult crowd to manage, particularly when they finish. Now with the automated timing, it means that you just come and pass, and then you can go wherever, go and enjoy the views to the dam, and when you get back to the city or to where you come from, go to the internet and print your resort slips or your finishing certificate showing you, including your time. Now that makes, creates a capacity for the marathon to take on board more people. And that's what we are doing. We are also looking at in the next 10 years, possibly in the near future, not 10 years, is that the marathon has been a national event. It started as a regional event when the first time we had less than 300 runners, so it was literally a Gatanga event. It became a Muranga event. It became, there was Central Province those days, and then it became national event. Now we want to take it international, and we are working with Athletics Kenya to do that. So this is to encourage the sponsors who are coming on board, that you're coming on to something that is going to be big. And as a company, as a main sponsor, we don't want to hog all the attention. We don't want to look like we are the only key people. So we are open to discussions with the sponsors as to how they would like to be to be presented during the marathon, what properties they would like to build around the marathon, because eventually it is a power of us as many that is going to really create that transformation that we are looking forward to. And therefore, I encourage Dimension Data and real people and the others that are coming, because I believe this year we have more sponsors than last year. The year before we had fewer than, and it's just been growing. I'd like to encourage them to feel free to make suggestions of how they would like to come on board, how they would like to enhance their sponsorship. If someone came and said, I'm going to put 20 million or 30 million shillings, I might say, look, we are going to share all the limelight with you. So, or we might as well say, now it becomes real people, Ndakaini half marathon. Well, because we have achieved what we really wanted to achieve, and forever we'll always know that as long as you do a marathon in Ndakaini, that marathon is, some people will remember UAP. But I'm not saying that we want to pull out. In fact, we want to enhance our partnership. So we are giving a challenge those that might we want to come on board and take more sponsorship. That the game is getting upped, and of course we then see what Ndeka can do with this sponsorship. So once more, let me say a big thank you to Dimension Data, and a big thank you to real people, Daniel and Mr. Kairigo of Dimension Data, for coming on board today, and we look forward to a big and great partnership into the future. I would just ask Peter Ngeno, General Manager for UAP Investments. He might just want to add one or two things.
Thank you, James. I don't have much to say because I think James has pretty much covered all the important points, but I think this is a very important event. It's good to demonstrate to the community at large that we as UAP and real people and Dimension Data are not only about the bottom line, but we also care about the community and that we are willing to give back to the community. So mine is just to say thank you to real people and Dimension Data for their support, and I hope that you continue to support us in the future. So thank you. Yeah.
Maybe what you could do is just have a comment, of course. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Edmund.
As partners,
yeah.
I'm sure you have something that you want to say.
Again, yeah, I must appreciate the effort that UAP, the vision that they had in the beginning. I think we know how important conservation has become in this country. Water resources. Some people have talked about water being the next frontier where people might even get involved in war. I think we know what the challenges we are having when it comes to people like upstream down the Nile. People are beginning to suggest that you cannot do certain things because then you are going to threaten our livelihood. But charity begins at home, and I think what James and UAP have done is to start an initiative that is going to help us conserve the water resources that we have in country. And we've been involved for several years now, and I can assure you we will continue to get involved. There are people who go there because they believe in conservation, but there are also people who go there because it's a fun day out, and they want to go and run and get out of town. So whatever the cause is, I think we are all contributing to the same. And I can assure you we are happy to be involved, and we continue to participate and conserve the water towers together. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning. For us, it's a pleasure. Last year, we participated in this, and after that participation, it was very clear from our staff, from everyone who was involved, that it was very well organized. It's something we want to do again, and it's very aligned with what we believe in terms of trying to be useful to the community ourselves. At Real People, we believe that business is one thing, but you've also got to integrate into the community, and water is critical for anyone. So for us, when we supported this last year, it was a good experience, made sense for us, and we said we'll do it again. And we'll keep doing it as long as we can. We thank UAP for the support that they've given over the years to Ndakaini. And we'll also make sure that most of our staff are there to run because they enjoy it as well. I mean, as we speak, we already have about 20 or 30 people who are saying we'll come on that day and we'll go and run. So it's a fun day, but also we are very happy to be part of this in terms of supporting the community in Ndakaini, but also in terms of supporting the water supply to Nairobi in general, because at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about. Just for those who may not know Real People, we provide business finance to small entrepreneurs, formal entrepreneurs, not informal. And that's something that, those sort of businesses are very core in the communities that we live in. So in one way or the other, very indirectly, we're also supporting them in a sense that, and we think that's very useful. So I'm glad that we are part of this. One day, as James said, we may have this as Real People UAP marathon, but that's in the future. We'll see about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Edmund, I might just want to add, because I thought I would say just a little about when and I had a short discussion with Daniel about what really real people do. Now you notice that he's providing particular credit to employers, to businesses. What we are used to in this sort of environment, if you are not a bank, normally for the rest of them we call them microfinance. So they really focus on retail people, and the one question one has to ask is, these retail people, the ordinary people you take microfinance products and credit products, personal credit products to, they have to pay back the money, isn't it? And my question then is, so where do they get the money to pay back the loans they get? They need maybe an employer somewhere, and that employer is the one that real people is actually focusing on. So in my view, sometimes when you want to develop, you develop in in stages. There's this guy you lift up. If you lift him so high, and there's another one you left behind, there is a disequilibrium or an imbalance that happens. So you need to lift this guy again. So he comes here, this one goes there. So it goes like that until one day the economy explodes and become a fully self-sustaining economy. And I think I have to acknowledge the role that real people are doing in terms of bringing up that particular other sector, which is effectively the SME sector. There's a lot of focus now, and those are the people who create employment that we keep talking about. Now that I've talked about real people, I have also talked about dimension data. And I know dimension data for a long time. They used to have a different name, but they really are empowering the rest of us through technology. We know that we don't live in the world we used to live in before. Today, I think we are very, very wired. We're the generation that is called, or rather the ones coming behind us, the generation of one touch go. And the wired generation that they are instant. I remember when we had a young son, anytime he wanted Milo, he would say, I want Milo. Okay, he used to say that in Kikuyu, and I can't say it here, but he said, I want Milo. And then he's like, he wants it instantly. And we even learned how to make sure that you have it ready, so that by the time he asks for it, you can quickly pour it. But it became even worse that he didn't even want to wait for it to be poured. And he would be crying by the time you have finished pouring. So I think that's the generation we are looking at. And IT becomes very critical, and I believe that Dimension Data has been one of the companies that have really helped this country in terms of selecting right IT, connectivity, and infrastructure. And clearly, when we talk about driving a marathon to become automated, hopefully we should actually have remember to talk to Dimension, and we'll talk to them and see how we can improve it even in the future so that it becomes more automated. So I think it was important for me to just mention those two elements.
Yes, Juan Muguna, you're a founder member of DECA, Ndakaini Conservation Association.
Thank you, Edmund Mudibo. Thank you, UAP Insurance, you people, Dimension Data. Today I'm very happy because the data have one of my sisters. I'm very proud of that because now he comes from Ndakaini. Now you can see we are moving. And before I go further, when we started this organization Ndakaini 2003 with Professor Kimura, and because the first marathon takes over in 2004, we are wondering how are we going to go about it. But I thank UAP because since 2004 they are our sponsors, and I can see even the other sponsors, the co-sponsors, I can say we have seen something, and something the community they are appreciating. We can see this is the far the Lord has taken us for 11 years. On the other sponsors, I can see we as DECA people, we do conserve the Ndakaini Dam. we do conserve the shoreline of the dam. We go to the forest and conserve the dam. The dam of Ndakaini is 3 kilometers square meters. And through the initiative of the UAP and our co-sponsors of this year's marathon and the past marathon, the money, the sponsor and the registration money goes toward the conservation. And this year, next year, we are planning to have, we have taken our people in a seminar and we have educated somebody to show our community how to propagate the baboon. We are doing that. And next year, we are going to plant the bamboo on the shoreline of the riverbanks and the dam itself. So the money of the sponsorship and the money of the registration goes toward the conservation of Ndakaini Dam. We are very proud, we as Ndakaini, we as community of Ndakaini, we the founders of DECA, because the initiative, the UAP and our sponsors are helping the community of Ndakaini. So I can urge, you join us in April to conserve the Ndakaini Dam, because if we don't conserve the Ndakaini Dam, the Nairobians will get shortage of water. So we are doing that. It's not me, it's to help the community and the young generation. So see you on that team. Come early and we participate and we run together and we run for water. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Mkuna. One may wonder, at least the little science that I know, what the bamboo does is actually help in filtration. So that ensures that the water is clean and very safe. And thank you, because of the partnership, the more than 4 million residents of Nairobi and the environs actually are able to have that safe water, clean water from the Kenya and right through from the Abadeas as it comes through. And thank you very much to DECA for being very good hosts and taking care of them. What we'd like to do, we also have others who come on, but just to progress this so that we can also accommodate the Nature Conservancy, is give opportunity then to real people and also dimension data to present their checks symbolic of their partnership and of course showing the commitment you are with us and continue to be with us. So I just move this aside.
I'm gasping for air. Thank you. And we hope to find some more things we can do. Yes.
Okay. Look at the camera. Okay.
Very good. Actually, with sponsorship that is coming through today, and even what the Nature Conservancy has come to present and engage today, we actually in fact feeling the half marathon is counting down. It is here. This year we'll be having the 11th Ndakaini half marathon. UAP could not have done this without the critical support of the partners. UAP certainly could not have been involved without the seed being planted by the community represented by Mkuna here. And of course, with the athletes such as Daniel Komen being there, doing the country proud, all of us coexist, we support each other for common good, common purpose. It is something we don't take for granted. We're counting down to the half marathon. The Nature Conservancy, even just the name itself, is the spirit of engagement that you have there. So we value you, we appreciate you, we laud you, and you coming in, very good delegation. We have, of course, the country director, that is Madam Munira Bashir. We've got the Fred Kihara. You're the
Water
Very-
fund manager.
Water fund manager, very key. Water fund manager. In your title there is water. In Ndakaini there is water. In your name of your corporate is conservancy. In your conservancy, conservation. We thank you. Of course, then we also have Mkuna here, representing Ndeka, one of the founder members of Ndeka. He'll be able to just share with us within a minute or so after what it is through your support is happening on the ground. Of course, I want to commend, you've done and continue to do Kenya proud. You always raise the flag of the nation up there. Through sports, we get united as a country. We appreciate you and for what you've done and continue to do. And of course, UAP playing that facilitative role in bringing people together. It's all about relationship. It's all about saying, let's make a difference. And Ndakaini is an example of what it is that others have been supporting and others can emulate. Time is one thing that we don't take for granted. You have sacrificed time, you have come. We want to get to the core of it. What we have are goodies. And I can see there's goodies coming, more goodies coming. But again, we want to formalize. So I would suggest that we actually will have some opening remarks. We each just make some opening remarks. James, you will lead the way. Then she'll have, of course, Nature Conservancy making a comment or two. We'll have Zeka making a comment. Want to comment? You've been there, you're here, you'll be there. You will say one or two things. Talk about skizzy. Those who will be watching, listening, what's your message to them? Once that initial set, that round of narration has been done, there is the agreement. The agreement that confirms that Mwanakomen is part and parcel of your team. And I know in your corporate team, it's the best of 5. You'll definitely bring down the average for the others. So if you have someone who's slow, you run them faster. Okay? Then, once this has been issued, you'll just do the initialing and signing and presenting to him. We'll then, of course, have the check presentation, and that will give us the photo opportunity.
Thank you very much, Edmund. We gather again. I think this must be 3rd year or 4th year with the Nature Conservancy to talk about Ndakaini, to talk about empowering a local community, to talk about giving water to the residents of Nairobi, to talk about really conserving our environment and ensuring that our long-term sustainability as a race and as a human being is ensured. Anything that human beings want to achieve is never achieved, in one go. It's achieved in bits and pieces. I think we are driving our bit here as UAP and all the sponsors that are coming. And the Nature Conservancy, really, the name is so clear that one need not ask what they do and why they would get involved with the UAP Ndakaini Half Marathon. The tagline is protecting nature, preserving life. It's so clear that if we want human beings to be inhabiting the earth in a couple of 100 years or 1,000 years to come, this whole balance of ensuring that the nature is conserved, is protected, is important. And I am very grateful that people can come together in the form of the Nature Conservancy and commit themselves to doing something like this. Indeed, I think, therefore, Nature Conservancy is a natural partner with UAP on the UAP Ndakaini Half Marathon. One might even ask, so what is, what would be a relationship between people who are conserving the environment and a company that is selling insurance? We don't do this because we just like doing it, or we have a lot of money to spend, or because we are very philanthropic. The philanthropy bit, yes, I guess we are, but the the driving force for us is our business is directly affected by any degradation of the environment. And if, for example, if we don't have clean water in Nairobi, all the people we insure for medical are soon going to be making insurance claims. Now, when that happens, of course, it means that either we have to close down or increase the price of the insurance solutions we give on medical. And if that happens, it becomes unsustainable. So for us, conserving and protecting the environment is part of making sure our business is sustainable. And therefore, there is a natural fit between us and the Nature Conservancy. I want to thank Nature Conservancy for coming on board and repeating year after year to come and support the UAP Ndakaini Half Marathon. It's a trend that we have seen, which means that there are some things we've done well. I know that the first year that you came on board, there were some concerns that you had. And I want to give you good news because in our second decade, we have decided to automate the marathon. So there will never be issues as to who was actually the winner, who came in first, who came in 10th. It is going to be automatic in the sense that we have invested this year, going forward in our second decade of supporting and sponsoring the marathon in technology, technological innovation. We are going to have what is called radio frequency identification tracking, both for during the marathon and for finishing, so that when people finish, you do not have to crowd around the finishing funnel. You simply finish, go and try and wind yourself down. I think Daniel, being an athlete, he understands that the worst thing is to ask an athlete who has just run 21 kilometers in very difficult terrain to come and stand waiting to register for his finishing certificate and all that, and positioning for purposes of prizes. What he needs is to really go and try and do a few stretch exercises to make sure that he can wind down the body back to normal. So we will do that, and there will be no dispute as to who is a winner. There's no dispute as to what position someone came in. For those who come in as social marathoners, they'll also be able to gauge themselves against the 4,000 or 5,000 people that may be running in that marathon. And that's part of our commitment to keep on innovating the marathon. It will also mean that we can have more people. Most of the sponsors have said they are bringing nearly their entire office. So we anticipate that there will be a huge turnout. And with more and more people, without technology, it becomes very difficult to run that marathon. At one point, we considered whether we should reduce the number of people that we will accept to the marathon, given the constrained area that the Ndakaini Secondary School, where we host the marathon, is. But with technology now, we are just basically increasing the capacity for the marathon. And therefore, we are listening partner. So those concerned, I think last year, you must have been happy because we dealt with the issue that had come up the year before, and that we will continue listening and innovating in the marathon so that it becomes really a destination. The other thing about going forward is we are looking at making the marathon international, not just a national marathon, and we are working with Athletics Kenya. This money that you as sponsors bring does not come to UAP. The money goes directly to Ndeka. The money that people pay to register and join and run in the marathon also, the 1,000 shillings we are charging as a registration fee, that money also goes to Ndeka. As UAP, we underwrite the entire marathon. And therefore, we are very happy that sponsors come on board and that Ndeka can find even other ways of engaging with these sponsors. We ourselves are prepared to listen to sponsors who would like to come in a more prominent way, sponsors who would like to do a few more things around the marathon. We want ideas and suggestions that will then make sure that you feel you want to continue supporting the marathon. We are very proud because those who come on board as sponsors, they don't leave. So because we have new sponsors every year, the list of sponsors is growing, and we are very proud of that. And therefore, I would like to thank you for coming back and hope that you come back next year, and wish you, promise you that we will make sure that we achieve the goals for which you have found that we can be partners with, and give you the room also to suggest ways in which we can make it even better. So thank you very much. I think I will ask Fred Kihara if he has a few remarks. Then we can go to Munira.
Thank you very much. And Munira, will, as a chief guest for today, will be able to tell you a little bit more. But I would like, first of all, to appreciate the opportunity to partner. We are primarily a conservation organization. We don't trade, but we have interest, just like you said, in making sure that we can sustain supply of water to the city of Nairobi and to the residents of Upper Tana. In terms of numbers, I'll be able to say this a little bit later, but in terms of numbers, we're looking at about 4 million people in Nairobi City. We're actually looking at 5.3 million people resident in Tana who need water. So anybody who says they care, they better be here with us and they better care. So that's one of the main reasons. Of course, the second one is that we make not less than 50% of Kenya's electricity from Tana, from the Tana system. We call them the 7 Forks dams. 50 to 60% of the Kenya's power come from there. So if you care about industry, you care about business, you care about creating employment, you care about people lighting in the rural areas and in cities, you better be here. So for that reason, the Nature Conservancy got committed, got convinced that this is a good cause, and we partnered. I know, Mr. Chairman, with due respect, you mentioned the inclusion of Gorra in technology in this year's marathon is something we appreciate. It's something we appreciate. And sometimes because it removes congestion and exhaustion and a bit of disorder, because those who run very fast are very exhausted. Those who run very slowly or idle around are still there and they can run and claim to have had better positions. But now with the Gorra in technology, I and Daniel Komen can assure you that we are practicing. And we are practicing very hard, and Munira is in the team, and we have several others who are not there who will come and learn. So we really appreciate that you are upping up the game in conservation. Let me just mention a little bit about what else we are doing, and then Munira will let you know about why TNC, why the Nature Conservancy. The Nature Conservancy made a decision to actually protect this as one wholesome watershed, covering the Aberdares and covering Mount Kenya. And it's a big area. We're dealing with 2.5 million acres, but we made a decision to do it. So part of this sponsorship, this is just one of the activities we're happy to do. But I can disclose here that just to conserve the Thika River and the Shania River, we are actually spending $300,000. That's 25 million shillings from last year through to next year. So that's commitment, that's paperwork written there. Mukuna has seen an organization called DECA that processes his check and bank deposits for this. And we are investing in this because we believe that we need to bring conservation to scale. This is not CSR. This is conservation to scale. This is getting sediments out of the water so that even when it is raining, Nairobi can get water. Without having to take too much time to settle sediments and I don't know what story, that Nairobi can get water because the rivers can still be relatively clean. During the dry season, that the rivers are still flowing. That's what we committed ourselves to. Mr. Chairman, we've committed an extra $300,000 separate to this one to take care of the Managua River. We are in Managua before the Nairobi City and Water Company gets there to draw water to bring to the city because that's their next frontier. We're increasing industry. We are bringing new hotels. Those are investments. That is what private sector does. So somebody must make sure that we secure water, and we are running ahead of time to also cover Managua because that is the next frontier for supplying water to cut the 30% shortage that already exists in the city of Nairobi. So that is an investment that goes to that place. I will not talk too much, but I will say so that to remove the conflict between the water being drawn for the city and power generation because it also needs water in hydropower, we've actually gone to a third site, which is to the north, the Gura and Sagana River to the north. And we've engaged there with the Green Belt movement to make sure that we can do another $300,000 project in that area to make sure that the river Gura and the Sagana can flow get water to Masiga, that water generates power so that Nairobi can have a respite, that people are not complaining that all the water is going to the city. So that is being done. So on top of this investment, we're putting $900,000 up, running up to next year for this particular work, and we really appreciate. We think it's our business, and we think it's business enough for us to invest in the watershed. I'll leave the commitment of my organization to Munira, because she speaks on behalf of the organization, and she speaks on behalf of our president, who is sitting in Washington, D.C. So I'll leave it at that, but I'll remain committed. We are coming out for the Ekaden Marathon. We are coming out for the main marathon. We believe the grown-ups, we believe the corporates should come in on the 13th and compete and do a good job. We believe students should be given an equal opportunity to participate and compete and learn about conservation early enough. We will not just come. We'll bring a tent and we'll teach everybody who comes to this event on environmental conservation and the need to invest in conservation. Thank you very much for having granted us to bring a tent for both events, specifically for environmental education and allowing our people to learn it for free. We really appreciate, and we'll make sure that you get good value for the tent and for the permission. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to take this opportunity to appreciate UAP for allowing us to be a partner this year. And we've been in this partnership for long. And we are here again this year is because we care and we want to participate in the good work that we are doing. The Nature Conservancy is a global organization, is the biggest conservation entity in the world. And our mission is to conserve all the lands and waters that life depends on. And when you look at what we are conserving, lands and waters, we are here because of the water. I think Fred has talked a lot about what we are doing in water. But what I would like to say is that these two aspects of our mission, lands and water, is very crucial to the organization. And what we do, we derive the activities that we do from the mission. We are partnering with the UAP because it's an event that brings people together for communicating that very important message on environmental education. And we are in it because we want to communicate that environment needs to be conserved for the future. If we do not conserve the environment, then people will perish. We are in the Upper Tana, and we are trying to establish the Upper Tana Nairobi Water Fund. This will be a first for Kenya and for Africa. And why are we doing this? We are doing this because water is an important aspect, is a basic need for the communities. But when you look at most of the countries in Africa, or most of the citizens, not even in Kenya, but all over, water is a scarce commodity. And yet, it is a basic need for the communities. So for us, we are looking at this forum as a forum where we want to partner with UAP and inculcate that environmental education, not just to the adults, but even to the youth. There is the schools marathon. And what my request would be is to scale up that marathon, because we need to start educating the youth or the children at an early age, because these are the leaders of tomorrow, and you need to know that the environment is important for their basic needs and for their livelihoods. So we are in here because we want to see both the events being scaled up. We want to use this forum to create awareness. People take environment for granted. Maybe they take it for granted because they don't know the nitty-gritties of the environment. We actually depend on the environment as a people of the earth. So the children from an early age need to know. The adults, yes, they've been around for a while. They've seen the environment being degraded. But I think education and awareness is not a one-stop shop. It's an activity that is continuous. Education awareness is something that needs to be pumped into people's minds day in and day out. The other thing that I would like to say is that UAP is a very important partner for the Nature Conservancy because you are in an area that we are working, and whatever you're doing in Ndakaini, as Fred has said, provides a big percentage of the energy that Nairobi depends on. And we need to conserve that water, because if we don't, with the climate change that we are seeing that is happening in this country, most of you know that we used to have lots of rain coming in. What is happening now? We need to ask ourselves, why don't we get the long rains that we used to get? It's because the environment is being degraded. And the Nature Conservancy wants to come in and partner with like minds like UAP, who want to impact that knowledge on communities, that the environment they live in, the environment that they depend on, needs to be conserved for the better future of the country and the universe at large. So for me, we are very proud as the Nature Conservancy, as a conservation organization, to partner with the private sector. Even with the Water Fund, UAP, you can also be a partner with what we are doing with the Water Fund, because Nairobi's almost 4.5 million people depend on the Upper Tana for the water that comes in. The industries, they use a lot of percentage of this water. We need to impact that knowledge and say they need to start caring where the water is coming from. We need to conserve the watershed. The Aberdares and the Mount Kenya watersheds are very important entities for supplying or conserving the water that comes to Nairobi. So we have companies that are coming on board. We have Coca-Cola, we have BAT, and I would like to invite UAP to another level of discussion to move this engagement to another level so that we can continue conserving the environment for the better of our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. What would be your appeal? There are athletes who've done the country proud in the past. You're part of the Nature Conservancy team. What can we expect from you? What would be a message to those others who are out there to come and join you on the 13th of September?
I think mine is to tell Kenyans to come in large numbers to support the Water Fund, to support the UAP, because we know conserving the environment is very important. I think it started a long time ago when I was a young boy. The former president, Daniel Moore, used to say we need to conserve water. So I think it has reached a time now we should follow his footsteps to preserve water in this country. Of course, most of the people now are coming from rural areas to town. In fact, I think maybe from next year there are a lot of people migrating from maybe Rift Valley to Nairobi. And when reaching Nairobi, there is no water. They will go back again. So we need now to make sure that we have plenty water in Nairobi. Plenty water in Nairobi. So I think I tell my colleagues to start preparing now, train hard, and win easy for the next race. Even me, I'm now in training. I'm training hard. Last year, I think I was top 100, so I need to be top 50 this time. So I think that is, I'm working hard in training. So also we need to encourage the youth to come in large numbers instead of going to stay in centers to support the UAP and the Water Fund for this run. I think if they come in large numbers, I think now we'll get water in Nairobi. Thank you so much.
Lastly but not least, TECHNO, your community that takes care of that water reservoir. What can you pass as a message?
Okay, thank you, Mudibo. Mine is very simple and very clear. Is to thank the Nature Conservancy and the UAP Insurance. I know the Nature Conservancy is committed on conservation. We have met with Kihara several times during the conservation effort in Ndakaini, and the community of Ndakaini is glad because Kihara is partnering with the Ndakaini Primary, Secondary, and Kanunga Secondary, and the schools surrounding the Ndakaini Dam to do the conservation work. Thank you, the Nature Conservancy. Once again, the Nature Conservancy has already committed with the 10,000 bamboo seedlings to plant in the shoreline of the dam. When I was talking about the next year's project of the bamboo, the Nature Conservancy already brought the 10,000 seedlings to the Deca nursery. So you can see how the Nature Conservancy, the effort, and they have done. On the issue of the sponsorship of the Nature Conservancy, the marathon is on 13th September, and the Nature Conservancy is committed sponsoring the Ekaden Marathon. The Ekaden Marathon is known in Japan because Japan is the time when they celebrate, like here when we celebrate the Jamhuri Day. So the Ekaden Marathon, we thought it with Professor Kimura. We are thinking about the alternative action, the affirmative action, but later on we decided to have the relay marathon for the secondary school, which will go all around the route of the marathon, that is 21.098. And the school in Muranga County and Kiambu County, that is the secondary school, they are ready to participate on 6th. We are talking about next weekend but one. And the preparation for the relay marathon, it is undergoing. We are completing the preparation with the TNC and the SECDEP and my people in DECA. So the team are registering with the 2,000, and starting from Monday to Wednesday, we are going to have more school. Last year we have 23 teams. This year I'm expecting to have more than 75 teams for the relay marathon. So thank you very much, UAP, because you are the start of this marathon, and the Nature Conservancy have come in the board. The purpose of having the relay marathon, we are building the international high altitude. We are great because we do the groundbreaking on May with the county government and Governor Mongwe area, and we are going to do for the second phase to build the training camp and whatever. So when we are doing the Ekaden Marathon, it's preparation for the young student to come in the board. When each and every athlete complete in Form 4, we have a training camp where that talent cannot be wasted. So thank you, the Nature Conservancy, for thinking about the conservation and the relay marathon. And I think the partnership will go along. I know we are going to renew the contract because the contract is to end next year. And I don't want that contract to end next year. I want that contract to continue as UAP because the door is wide open. Thank you very much.
What we'll have now is there's a contract document agreement between the Nature Conservancy and UAP.
Thank you.
To just confirm that yes, you are on board. And what I'd request then is on MD you will sign